Hello there folks, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and another video regarding the series which I called Wisdom Shorts. This video is gonna be again on the topic of introspection and specifically on the idea of getting distREKTed. Okay, now why I stated it this way, get distract, okay, is because in video games there is this I don't know if it's actually new, but it's a word that usually is used in a negative connotation, which is get wrecked, which is pronounced, well, it's spelled R-E-K-T, which is basically a short version of wrecked, okay, which is told to enemy players after they get easily wiped. It's not one of the friendliest options to use as of what I've been seeing, but it actually goes very well with the term distraction. Okay, now why is basically distract, okay, why I'm saying this is, well, because distractions, okay, what is a distraction? Okay, well, basically a distraction is something that people recur to when their life is not good enough. Now, as we can see, society simply makes it, and well, basically we accept it, okay, because society pulls some trends, and well, the majority of people simply embrace them without thinking too much for themselves, because well, most people live life unconsciously. So therefore they only live based on impulses. Okay, if someone comes up with a certain idea, everyone will follow that idea because it's nothing else than an impulse. Barely anyone nowadays seems to be thinking for their own selves and pondering and wondering whether something actually goes or will go well or not. And the point of distraction is uh, a distraction. Actually, distraction. Okay, so distractions are basically an extraction. Okay, they extract you from your own seat of power and they give you certain emotions and as such. Now, why are distractions important to most people is because their level of experiencing life is not enough. If you look around and if you look back in your own history, you'll easily see that ever since you were young, your life never seemed to manifest anything, okay? And I don't like this word manifest because it's constantly being used with that uh, you know, confusing aspect of the flow of distraction, okay, which is again an idea of distraction. Why? Because, well, it teaches you that if you dream enough of a certain thing and it puts more attention on the aspect of dreaming, not necessarily working, you will plant some seeds for only dreaming. Well, go ahead and dream all you wish. You will go in your graveyard with those dreams because nothing comes to fruition without the proper action, and action alone also, even with or without the dreams, action still will not, well, actually will never guarantee the results you actually want. The results may be worse, the results may be better. That's up to the, uh, flow of life to deliver that. Okay, it's up to the flow of life to present certain results for you. Okay, and things will always unfold. It's just that you're working towards something that you like. That is the most important thing. And distractions exist because, well, as I've been saying, people don't experience life enough. When you're a child, you always have to do what other people tell you, and they put all sorts of ideas into your mind, ideas that, well, they have an impression that will help you, but, well, the problem is most likely it won't necessarily help you, because just look around at all the people who are giving you tips and pieces of advice. You will rarely see someone who is actually happy with life, okay, without faking it, because there are all sorts of these people. So if life isn't, vibrant enough, because when you go to kindergarten you have to do certain things, at school you have to do other things, so basically society and life, the way we accept it to be, okay, we accept it to be, not it's meant by others or made by others. No, we accept it to be, even if it is made by others. Uh, it is made by others of our own kin, and we gladly embrace that. Okay, never thinking what our children will be experiencing afterwards. Okay, so distractions are a very good synonymous of unconsciousness, because when you are unconscious, okay, when you are ignorant, you're basically running away from anything, from everything. So the problem with distractions is that it's basically what is keeping people poor. Why? Because there is a very powerful quote that says distractions are the only luxury that poor people can afford. Why? Because instead of focusing on experiencing life and doing something to improve their situations, okay, when everything sucks in your life, that's the best thing ever. Because if things suck in your life, well, that's the best thing ever, because that's a very sure and certain way to know that, well, hey, those things aren't working in my life, that's why my life sucks. So if you remove those and start working towards something that will improve your life, well, that makes things better. Now, if you think about the fact that, I don't know, you're smoking and you're not healthy, well, most likely smoking sucks in your life. So if you remove that, most likely you will be healthier. But again, people embrace this idea of suffering because, well, they see it all around them, and, well, ever since childhood, they most likely believe that, well, that is kind of the best thing and the only thing possible. As I've been saying, the mind will only give comfort to those who feed it the most. So always be careful what you feed your mind with, because, well, those things will end up as what your intellect will be fighting for. And your intellect will always fight for, providing for, or better said, support, okay? Will always fanatically support any idea that you end up accepting. So if you end up accepting that you suck, well, guess what? Your intellect will support that idea, even fanatically, okay, which translates as you're even capable of dying for those points, okay. That is why the intellect is a very powerful aspect. If you control someone's intellect, well, basically you can't control their intellect, but you can control, in a way, what they end up believing in. If you repeat that enough that the person simply embraces it, consciously or unconsciously, well, their intellect will do the job for you, okay. You're not controlling anyone, okay. There is no such thing as control, because control is, well, a certain exertion of power, but, people who feel they are defenseless will simply cede their power. That is the point. And of course, religion has a very great influence in here, because religion says that if you die, all sorts of horrible things will be awaiting you after you die. So basically, people are running away from death, but, well, this also further improves their feeling of uselessness and helplessness, because, well, you can't escape death. But ignorant people don't realize their mortality, which again creates another disappointment, because at a certain time, usually when they are very old and they see that people around them start dying, to many people this actually becomes a shock, okay? Because they've been distracting themselves their whole lives. And nowadays, when I look around, it's like phones, mobile applications, computer games, literally everything is used as a distraction. But does this actually make those things evil? Well, they're not evil, okay? It's just that the fact that the people don't know how to handle their own energies. They don't know how to handle their mind and their emotions and their psychological aspects of life, and therefore they have this impression that life sucks. But life itself doesn't suck. Your perceptions and your ideas that you have embraced do suck, okay? So it's people who suck, not life. And of course, which is also the unfortunate case of many people, if the people around you suck, well, chances are you will also suck in a way, because everything that you learn in this world comes from an external source, be it from creation itself or through your own experiences. That's, well, your own experiences, but it's still something external, because your experiences with a video game are again with an external source, okay? That game is an external source. Your experience with a movie and the emotions it creates, again, is an external source, right? You can only experience something on the outside when you focus on your outside senses, right? You can't experience the outside if you're fully meditating, right? You're fully absorbed into your own thoughts, and you're, expressing things deep within yourself, right? And you're making peace with all sorts of things that have been distracting you, right? Because ignorance is the best distraction. Why am I saying this? Well, because ignorance, basically, how I would define it, ignorance is being a sponge, okay? Through ignorance, you're attracting everything you're literally attracting everything into yourself, not the law of attraction, okay? You're attracting everything within yourself, but you are not willing to take the responsibility for anything of that which you are attracting in yourself. Why? Well, let's think about ignorant people for a bit, okay? So ignorant people, they're always on the run, okay? And that's why they're always weak and always tired. Why? Because they are ignoring that, annoying teacher, okay, that's bugging them at school and seems to always have something with them. But that teacher is always on their mind. They are ignoring their spouse because they're ruining their life, okay, and they definitely have no problem with that, but there is a problem. First of all, you're staying with a person who is supposedly ruining your life, and secondarily, you're not taking into account what you may be doing, okay, to uh, ensure that that person is actually ruining your life, because probably your behavior is doing something which irritates them. And well, it is a common fact that women will always uh, revert, to emotions, because that is how they mainly express, okay? They're not the kind to naturally express themselves verbally directly, okay? They usually like hints and emotions, because that is how they test people. If people don't understand the fact that women constantly test others, okay, because that's how their natural mechanics work, okay, well, that's going to be unfortunate for a lot of people. And also for women, because, well, most likely if you don't understand something of you, okay, well, you're going to have some problems with that. And again, you will prefer distractions instead of solving things, which proves you're kind of ignorant, right? Because ignorant people will always, ignore their boss, okay? They will even beat their chest, like, I'm ignoring my boss, I'm not interested in them. But when you say you're not interested in them, they're always on your mind. Because you cannot simply ignore your thoughts. The more you ignore them, the more they will come back. That's how ignorance actually works. So, in order to correctly, let's say, ignore something, people have the impression that if they distracted themselves with something, well, those things no longer exist. Well, they will still be there. Those thoughts are still there. Okay, even if you get fully drunk, those thoughts are gonna be there. Okay, they're gonna be pushed into the unconscious, which is not good because they also develop in there. And well, the point is, thoughts that you so-called ignore, they will be developing throughout your whole existence. They're just like mini black holes, okay, that are feeding off of your own energy. And again, you're creating more and more karma. Okay, you're creating more and more suffering with all the new things that you are ignoring, because that is the problem. Okay, that's the point. Okay, when you become ignorant, you have no defense towards everything that is around you. The more conscious you become, the more aware you become of the influences of things, and then you start creating your own, you know, power to ditch meaning. Because when you are ignorant, okay, you are also not gonna be interested in doing anything for yourself, and you're gonna work fully on impulse. When you see something, you're just gonna interpret it on the little things that you know, instead of actually doing some research, right? And that's why you have so many people who are ignorant, but at the same time they believe they are someone on this planet, or they are, I don't know, they are experiencing I don't know what sorts of things, or they always are right and such, right? So distractions, well, the world uses them and is very successful at this because, well, people want to live life following this so-called American dream, okay? And it's called usually a dream because you have to be asleep to experience it, okay? But that's more like hallucinatory, because if you're asleep, you're technically dead, right? Because to a certain extent, sleep means a loss of awareness, okay? When you are dozing, okay, when you are partly asleep, you can still hear certain things, okay, so you still have a sense of livelihood, okay. But when you fall fully asleep, even when you fall asleep with a whole room of people, you're suddenly no longer aware of the presence of those people, right? So technically, sleeping is a kind of death. And well, guess what? Distraction is also a form of death, and it is kind of the deepest one, okay? Well, apart from the proper, you know, um, aspect, the proper death, death itself as and as an ongoing process, because death is an ongoing process. Okay, it is just two sides of the same coin. Okay, ever since one is born, they are alive, or one can say the other side of the coin, they are slowly dying, because it's basically the same process that is going on. Okay, life is slowly dissipating. Okay, because everything that is physical has its own life, and well, distractions are nothing else than thought forms that we create out of ideas of lack, right? Because you have an impression that without a certain thing your life will suck, right? That is the aspect of distractions. You have an impulse, okay, that you must acquire something because you have a petty little impression that your life will horribly suck, okay, if you don't acquire that thing. So all this being said, you are loved and appreciated. Take care of yourselves, become more introspective, and you'll see that all the answers you're looking for are deep down inside. Feel free to ask me questions, and well, when I feel ready, I will come up with certain videos. Feel free to like and subscribe. If you like this type of content, feel free to send me video game projects if you're working towards them and you want someone to break them down. You're loved and appreciated. Take care. Ferinjan Board signing out.